Welcome to Clueless with Ogre and Big Pauly. Welcome to another episode of Clueless with Ogre and Big Pauly. Big Pauly, how you doing?
I am fantastic, Ogre, stuck in my studio, aka the bedroom, ready for another rumble, another radio rumble here on our much loved and much anticipated podcast. So, raring to go, Ogre, raring to go.
Yeah, it sounds good. So we're on episode number 4.
I think we could probably call it 4.5 because our guest tonight we tried to tee up and have on last week, and there was all sorts of technical issues that we couldn't quite resolve. So we probably should have just about recorded that show from the rubbish we're going to spew up tonight because we were in stitches laughing with each other and had a good time. But looking forward to our guest tonight.
And Pauly, any clueless moments before we get to our guest? Any clueless moments happening with you? And just to remind our guests what the show's about, like that's the important part. The show called Clueless. We are going to bring on a guest who's going to educate us on their field of expertise and beyond. But we like to discuss any moments in our lives or what we've seen or read, and share that with our listeners, our listener base. Now, Pauly, I did have one thing I saw today. You know, you see a sign, you go, really? Did that really need to be said? I was driving on a freeway and it said, emergency lane is for emergencies. Is that just telling people flat out what? It's already in the name.
Well, you would think you don't need that sign, but, you know, someone in bureaucracy land perhaps and a government decided it was a good idea to print those because they came up with the idea. They sold the idea perhaps to the government. Then they endorsed their cousin's brother, uncle to print the signs, and the cousin's brother's uncle's auntie, they installed them. So it's just like a money pit, Ogre. But, funny enough you say signs, Ogre, because there was one time going back a long, long time when I just started driving. I'd go down this, and it was actually onto a freeway as well, and the sign said, wrong way, go back. Have you seen those ones? Wrong way, go back.
I have, yeah.
And for about 2 years, I thought to myself, how the bloody hell do they know which way I want to go? And it challenged me. And it wasn't for a good time after that I realised you can't go down the exit ramp on a freeway. So it took a while, but I got there in the end. But tonight, Ogre, our guest is... We're going to dance around every man's dream, the good old-fashioned barbecue. So our guest coming up has got a lot of experience in barbecue, so I know you've got some questions, but I had some real-life clueless moments. So first of all, tonight, literally an hour ago, I'm out on the barbecue. I'm on a deadline because we've got to get on the show. And the old Weber just wouldn't heat up. And I had checked the gas and I touched the bottles and I turned it on and turned it off, and it wouldn't get past about 130 degrees, and the gas was on and the flames were on, and I'm standing there for 10 minutes. The bride's yelling out, where's the barbecue, where's the bloody steak, where's the this? I don't know. She's ready to go, I'm not. And I stood there for 10 minutes thinking, might just be taking a bit longer tonight. I don't know, might be cold. How would I know? I'm clueless. But then I started Googling. I was that anxious. I started Googling, and it said, why does my Weber not go up to the required heat quickly enough? Anyway, they said, like the computer, just turn it on and off. So that's what I did. I turned it off at the gas, turned it back on, the old ignition, and away we went. Up she went to 350 degrees. But dinner wasn't great tonight, I must say, because I'd sort of danced around the 120 degrees for about 15 minutes waiting for the stupid thing to heat up. And then the bride's got me in a hurry, so I cooked it up to about 400 degrees and might have dried out the old steak for tonight. But
you are rubbing it in. You're rubbing it in, Pauly. It is late July. So in Melbourne, where I'm from, it is freezing, and the last thing on anyone's mind is getting out there on a barbecue. You're up there in the sunny Sunshine Coast in Queensland.
Sunny Sunshine Coast, shorts, T-shirt, and on the deck cooking a barbecue.
Cooking
This
a
is the life.
barbecue in July. It's the middle of winter.
With shorts and T-shirt on, mate. You've got to get up here. Well, actually, no, don't. There's no room for anyone else up here anymore. There's every person you run into is from Victoria, escaping the cold and thinking about living here, which is great for real estate. Great for real estate. But
And before we get to our guest, Paula, you mentioned the bride was calling out about the steak. She's back in town. She's been on a long sojourn.
She has.
Over in Indonesia.
Yes, we had 3 or 4 weeks together, and as she does, she likes to have an extended break from me mostly, and so she had 3 weeks there in Bali, and yes, just got back this week, and gee, I've been
Feels
busy.
like she never left.
You know, it feels like she never left. So it feels like she saved up all her complaints and all her whinging for 3 weeks and just unloaded them. We weren't even out of the airport car park. But anyway, Olga, that is a story for another day. Our guest tonight, he, for a living. Now, we love everyone loves a barbecue.
Who doesn't love a barbecue? You're an Australian if you didn't like a barbecue.
And if it's the only place in the world, whether it be 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock at night, any day of the week, you're allowed to have a beer when you cook on the barbecue. That's just Australian, isn't it? That's what you do. Beer, yeah, I'll cook Tuesday night, but I'll have a beer. I'll cook Wednesday night, got to have a beer. But the thing we don't like about barbecues, or things that I don't like about barbecues, is cleaning the bloody things. How do you clean?
Do you have to?
Well, apparently so. Apparently so. You've got to clean the barbecue, and I don't know how regularly, how good, what with, don't know. But they do get a bit messy. So our guest tonight is going to enlighten us so we are not clueless about cleaning barbecues. So with that, and I'm sitting here, I've got notes ready to take because my little barbecue out there is ready for cleaning. And then I've got another little question about what happens with when you drop the oil and stuff on the deck and the tiles. They're not coming off with a little bit of hot water and a scrub. So I'm going to ask him that as well. But would you please welcome to the Clueless podcast to enlighten us, Mr. Barbecue himself, Scotty Dell. Welcome, Scotty.
Good on you, lades.
Well,
thanks, mate. It's good to be here. G'day, Olga.
G'day, Scotty. Great to be here.
That was a long intro, but I wouldn't expect anything less from Paul. He's pretty good on the chat.
Well, look,
have you seen him try and sell a house?
Oh, yes.
We start.
He was trying to sell houses when he was about 10 years old.
We start negotiations.
I've known him since he was a little kid.
Selling houses, we start negotiations in March and we finish him in April. That's when I stop talking. Now, I don't know how much of that intro you heard there, Scott, but Mr. Barbecue,
I heard it all, mate.
You wander around, and you're from Torquay, a beautiful part of the world down there,
I am.
and lived down there for a long time. And you, when you were growing up, did you ever think to yourself, yep, I'm going to make a living cleaning barbecues? Where did that thought process come from? How did it all start for you?
Yep, I never thought growing up that I'd have a business for 23 years cleaning barbecues. So I started
Probably fair to say when you were growing up you never thought. But anyway, go on.
Well, not about business. I didn't know exactly, but no, with my first wife, my first father-in-law. I've had two. So he was an engine reconditioner, and he used to soak all the engines from the cars in this big sort of heat tank and clean all the engines, and he used to, on the side, he'd used to throw his cast iron barbecue plates in as well. And he did it for years and years, and then he just told me, he said to me one day, I reckon this would be a good business. And I had a bit of a light bulb moment. I thought, yeah, I reckon it is too. So me and my first wife, we had our own business, and we sort of wanted to do something different. So I made some flyers up and did a bit of a leaf drop around the sort of affluent areas of Torquay, because if someone's going to pay, there is. I sort of targeted my market, and did spend a day just leaf dropping in the letterboxes, and then that day I got 3 callbacks and
3 jobs. So Mr. Barbecue was born on the first day.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now we are going back 20 odd years ago. So
2003, yeah.
So what does a barbecue clean cost 23 years ago? Then I'll ask you what it's costing now.
Well, when I first started it, all I did was just the cook plates, and that's all I cleaned for them. I didn't even do the rest or anything. I just did the plates, and I used to just charge $20 a plate. So I'd come and get the plates, take them back
Cash.
to cash, of course, yeah. Take
Declared,
it back to
declared,
my
of course, as well.
father-in-law's factory and soak them in there overnight, and then drop them back the next day, and they'd pay me. And then, so I did that for probably, I don't know, a couple of months. And
So
then,
there's not a scrubbing brush in sight. Grab them off
not a
the grill.
scrubbing brush inside. No.
Take them off
Nice
the barbie.
clean hands.
Go to the father-in-law's joint. Throw them in the whatever he was throwing them in. Get them out. Throw them back on the barbie. Take a 20.
Put them in.
Now, how much of
Yeah,
the 20 went
exactly.
to old mate? How much of the 20 went to old mate father-in-law?
No, nothing, mate.
This is a low
Nothing
cost of goods
about
sold, Ogo. This is a raw, and I feel it's going to get better.
You must have been pretty pumped, Scotty, like that idea. Let's give it a go. A few flyers, 3 jobs, and from there. And
Yeah.
it was funny how you explained it. My first question I have: so is it a 4-year apprenticeship or a tape course? No, you just get straight into it. You need the magic bucket of the
Pretty
father-in-law.
Yeah.
That do you even know what's in that magic bucket?
Well, he did tell me. It was like, and then as
Don't give your secrets away.
No, no, I'm not. So I used to just do the cook plates and stuff at the start, and then as I do jobs, people would say, "Oh, can you do the rest of it?" And so then I had to had to think of like, how am I going to do the inside of the hood and all that and underneath. And so then I just learnt how to do it. And a lot of people use steam cleaning machines, so I bought myself a steam cleaning machine to clean the insides of the underneath the hood of the barbecue.
Your father-in-law didn't have a steam cleaning machine you could perhaps
He wasn't
borrow?
onto that, so no, he didn't. So I had to fork out some money and buy myself a steam machine. So I did that, and then one day I was actually still doing the lifesaving, and I was driving a young guy home, and his dad owned one of the local real estate agencies, and I was just only started the business probably 2 months, and he said, how's your business going? And I was just telling him, and he goes, well, why don't you...
$20 a pop. I've got no cost of goods sold. I don't need an apprenticeship. I just need a driver's license.
That's it, and a smile. Yeah, a smile goes a long way. And so he said, why don't you call his sister, who looks after all the holiday homes, because they've all got barbecues in them. So I did that, and then so they gave me plenty of work, and so I just used to go around to all the holiday homes and clean the barbecues before the summer season, and then during like bookings when they're checking out, I'd go around and give it a quick clean, and then so I did that. That was a really good market to get into because no one else was doing it. There was about three or four other companies like all around Australia that were doing it. So I got myself a website, and I was getting inquiries from all over Australia pretty much. Like,
I'm going to fly you in.
Bit much travelling to Darwin for $20.
Exactly. Yeah, but I was getting them from like WA and lots like in Queensland, obviously, where it's you've barbecued tonight, and where me and Ogre are sitting here in our Ugg boots and our hoodies, and so I did that, and
Once they've had the magic touch from the barbecue man, how long or how many cooks before they need a little touch up again? Now, I know you might be doing some cleans for rentals, or people in and out. They want to be all nice and shiny for each visitor. But in reality, if you were going to an owner and got the magic touch from the magic man, will it last you 6 months or 20 cooks? What do you think?
Yeah, we usually say like with a complete clean of the barbecue, we say like twice a year is enough. Every 6 months.
Twice a year, and if business is going bad, it might be 3 times a year.
and then just after each time you've used a barbie, while the plates and the grills are still hot, if you just run a wire brush over it, and cleans most of it off, and then once it cools down, you just spray any sort of cooking oil on it, and then it's good to go.
Spray some cooking oil on it. But what about all the stuff in the bottom and this is the bit I don't. The top is okay. What about all the junk and everything else
underneath? Yeah, so
Underneath
that's what we usually, when we come in, that's what we usually clean, all the stuff underneath,
The drip tray
you don't
and
do
all
the
that
drip
stuff.
tray and all that. Yeah, so if you do that, if you keep on top of that, a couple of times a year, and I suppose up in Queensland it'd probably be more because people would use their barbecues more, but we say a couple of times a year is enough.
I think we are using the barbecue up here a bit more. I mean, I
reckon
went
you would
and
be.
we've only been here a couple of months or so, and the gas bottles run out. And I said to young son, I said, there's no way in the possible world that the gas bottles run out in 2 months. I said, the gas bottle we've got is, down at home and all this Victoria, that was lasting 6 months, 8 months. He goes, well, it has. I said, okay, well, off I go.
Yeah.
And I think it was $39 at Bunnings to replace the bloody thing, and I nearly fell over with that. So, things are getting out of hand.
Queensland. Welcome to Queensland, Big Pauly, they would have said.
Yeah,
They're all
tell
about
us
that price now
$39.
anyway.
Have you ever come across a barbecue that you've just gone, what the fuck has gone on here?
Pretty much, yeah. And I've just told them, look, I can't do anything with this. How about and this is another business I got into, get rid of it and I'll get you a new one and I'll put it together for you. So, yeah.
So a whole new Barbie, not just the plates.
Marketing 101.
Yeah, so you put them together as well.
Yeah, so when I started, I just went into the local barbecues galore in Geelong and told them, showed them my business card, and I said, look, if I buy my parts and that through you guys, can I leave my business card on the counter? And then they said, well, why don't you come and work for us and deliver the Barbies and put them together for clients? So that was a good way I did that, and it's a good way of getting clients as well. A little margin on top,
of course. A little margin on top of the Barbies, a bit of a wholesale discount for you, a bit of labour to install them, and I'll tell you what, I needed you a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And delivery fee.
All across
this
here.
is global. Yeah. This is multi-global marketing.
I want to ask about putting together the barbecue, but before we do so, you mentioned when you started $20.
Yep.
But what are you charging to clean a barbecue now? Well, if that's not a secret, I don't want to give you trade secrets away.
Yeah, look, it's sort of around the $150, $200 for a basic sort of 3 or 4 burner with a flat hood. That sort of.
The Weber hood there a bit more.
Webers, Webers are about $250.
Any reason why?
Well, they're just harder to clean. They take longer. Yeah.
Hang on, now let me just do the maths here. 150 odd to clean a nice big Barbie. You can buy them for about $250. Can't you?
You can, yeah.
Well, you
can.
There's your option. I'm going to give Scotty $400. He can get the old one, bring you back a new one, put it together, and off we go. I'm $150 worse off for a brand new.
Putting it together, they are, for someone who doesn't do it regularly, you'd be going, oh my God, I need to at least 4 to 5 hours here. How long are you taking to put a Barbie together?
Yeah, well, I'm like you. The first time I got a job, I'd never done it before, so it took me about 5 hours, the first client I ever did, and I was sweating beads because she was, looking over me and saying, oh, you're nearly finished, I've got to go and pick the kids up from school, and nearly finished, so it took me about 5 hours the first one, and then, because all the instructions are in Chinese, so, and there's always missing parts, and so, but now they're pretty easy now. Maybe like by the time you get there, it's 2 hours, I suppose.
Wow, 2 hours.
Yeah.
So you've got these screws. You normally got these screws left over. You go, what do we need these for?
Still have those.
Take them with you. Take them with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you've gone from $20. A little, thanks very much to clean the Barbie. Only the grills, of course, not the other stuff. Goodness me. And then you've gone to a bit of left field and buying barbecues. So you're dealing barbecues on the side, and
pretty
then
much,
upskilling your labour. But there was a time you went away from residential and mums and dad stuff to a bit of council work, I think, and expanded the business. Is that right?
I did, yep. So, that was just right place at the right time. Just a guy who worked in the council down at the Surf Coast Shire. He was in the surf club, and he said, what's this barbecue business you got here? And I told him, and he said, well, how about you give us a price to clean all our public barbecues around the parkland? So I did.
We're talking
and
the whole Surf Coast Shire, from where to where?
Oh, so from Brimley, which is just before Ocean Grove, all the way to Aireys Inlet, and then out to Winchelsea.
Right.
So how many are we talking? How many
So
barbecues in
back
there?
when I first started, they only had about 16 around the parks, but now they've got, well, the council's got about 45 now, and then there's another like government sort of department that looks after the foreshore. They manage the foreshore, so I do theirs as well. So all up, we probably do, or maybe about 200-300 barbecues around
And
there.
in the interest of public safety for the government departments, these need to be cleaned, I'd imagine, every 2 or 3 weeks, surely,
Well, they
to
do.
protect the
Well,
public.
Yeah, well, some of them over summer we do 7 days a week. Yeah, so we start early, and I usually put a few extra guys on over summer to give me a hand. But yeah, over winter, obviously down here it's pretty cold and don't barbecue much, so it drops back to sort of twice a week. So that's probably 90% of our business now is just
Got
council.
sick of mums
stuff.
and dads and their $20.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And you said you put some guys on. What are you looking for in those guys to clean a barbecue?
Well, I just want
Could
someone
me and Big
reliable.
Pauly do it? Or was Pauly a bit too?
Well, yeah, actually,
hoity-toity?
you're the age group that I was sort of looking for. So yeah, I think the older people are more reliable, and so definitely. I don't know about Lades, but
I'm in the sunshine.
Go.
If it took you 5 hours to put the barbecue, it'd take me about 5 days. But I reckon I'm in the right area. So the Sunshine Coast, it's nice
Yeah.
weather, we're using barbecue. So
Definitely.
maybe a franchise model would work. But I think you've tried the franchise model, have you?
I did. I franchised. I did that after about 4 years of business when I was still getting all these inquiries from all over Australia. I thought I'll franchise it. So I paid a lawyer a lot of money to whip up a franchise agreement and advertised, and
You hadn't
I
heard
got
of
one
Google?
guy. Well, Google wasn't really back, it wasn't firing back then. So I had a guy in Torquay. He bought one. He lived across the road from me, and he
You
stayed
still
with me.
speak to him?
Yeah. No, we left on good terms. But he stayed with me for 10 years, and then I had a couple of other guys in Melbourne. So, and some of them only lasted one lasted a year, one lasted 2 years.
But you got their money,
and
okay?
then, yeah. Oh, one I didn't. Yeah, I had to go to take the
Chase
court.
him
But
down.
yeah, exactly. But then
And what would the franchise cost?
so back then they were $20,000. Yeah, and then they
Okay.
pay you monthly fees as well, obviously. Yeah. So
Okay, yeah, nice.
yeah. So then
So we got Mr. What's his name? Uncle Jim or Jim's
Well, yeah.
mowing. We got Scotty's barbecue. What's it called? Mr. Barbecue.
Aussie barbecue cleaning.
Aussie barbecue. How'd you come with that
But
title?
actually, I don't know
Take
if
you
you
a while?
know this story, Lades, but I went to the Jim's group, and I actually did it with them for two. They'd never had the division of barbecue cleaning, so
Jeez, they
I
got
actually
everything else.
went
I
and
can't understand why they
presented
didn't.
yeah. So I went and presented to them, and they said, "Yeah, this is a good opportunity." So I did it with them for 2 years. So I sold 4 franchises with them. So I had a guy up on the Gold Coast and 3 in Melbourne.
So you on-sold
And-
those Jim's franchises for Jim. Now, did you meet Jim, the Jim? Did you meet
Yeah.
the Jim? Yeah. Is he as still as he
Yeah,
looks
mate.
on the back of vans with a little
Yeah, he is.
scrawny mow and beard and stuff?
Well, he's pretty
Is
old
he-
now. He doesn't have a mow now. No, he's pretty old and he's pretty little. Yeah, but he's interesting.
Is it true?
fella.
I think
He's famous. So you've touched.
He's famous, He's only
touched-
little,
yeah.
but he did get
Celebrity.
concussion falling off his wallet, I think, Jim, one day.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought starting your own little business at the time, using the father-in-law's magic bucket, that you would meet Jim down the track to be talking
I know,
franchise?
yeah.
Now,
And-
and sorry, there's a few things I want to talk about the barbecue, only a couple, but presenting to Jim's, how was that a room full of people? Was that just Jim on his own?
mate, it was just Jim.
Yeah, it was Jim and he's like two offsiders. Yeah, so
That's great.
Yeah,
Was it hard to get in there? Was it?
not really. I think they get lots of people with business ideas ringing them all the time. They used to say, and they just sort of weed out the ones that they think will be good. And yeah, so Jim wasn't sold on it straight away. So, but one of his offsiders he could see the potential in it, and so
in residential barbecue cleaning. So there was the mums and dads stuff. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I've got to know if you still got Jim's number, because I've got an idea. I reckon. Have you blokes got air fryers? You got an air fryer?
Yeah.
How hard are those things to clean? Now, I know there's a little Google this and a TikTok that, but Dell, you just start air fryer. Yeah, how do you clean those and a drum of oil or whatever?
Them in the sink and with a bit of dishwashing detergent?
No, you can't get the... I don't know what you're cooking in your air fryer, but you can't get the grime out of them. You can't get the oil out of them. There's got to be an easier way, and I don't know what it is. So maybe that's... Once we're finished tonight, you can go and Google that and see, and maybe your third father-in-law or something might have something that he can help us with, if you can find another father-in-law, and see if we can maybe do air fryers. I reckon that's got to be a winner, don't you think, Oga?
Sorry, just one more question, Paulie, about cleaning the barbecue is also on this Facebook page from 2023, and this may surprise a lot of listeners out there. But barbecue wipes, which would be your automatic go-to if you're in the supermarket or Bunnings or Mitre 10 or wherever you're buying your barbecue stuff from, is no good for the barbecue.
They're all right. They're all right for a temporary, bit of a quick clean, but they don't do the job properly.
But I've only used barbecue wipes to actually wipe the surface area, wipe the stainless steel and that sort of stuff, not scrub the grill and the plates and all that.
Well, you can get them for that too, yeah.
They smell all right.
But the outtake is the best thing for those at home is to get a wire brush post-cooking while it's still
hot,
on.
Exactly.
And pour some or spray some oil on it.
Yep. Once it's cooled down, just spray some oil on it, put the lid down, and then you're right for next time.
Never heard
there
that. You go. Yeah. Well, I am going to pass that on to my wife, and so she can improve her barbecue cleaning.
Poor Sharon.
And we'll see how the rules. If I'm cooking, someone's got to clean. That's how it works, isn't it?
That's it.
So the whole barbecue conglomerate. 22 years you've gone from a young whippersnapper, cleaning barbecues in backyards, and I'm sure 20-something years old or thereabouts, young, strapping, good-looking fellow like yourself. Was there ever an opportunity, or was there never something you think you got to a house, a lady said, thank you, Scott, come on in, and you've asked her where the barbecue is, and she said, well, actually, I haven't got a barbecue, and, one thing may have led to another or something like that. Or you may have got a call in just because she'd cleaned the barbecue 3 days. She'd cleaned the barbecue 3 days earlier, and she just wanted a bit of alone time with Mr. Barbecue.
I did have a few of those incidents occur along the journey.
What? All I'm thinking here is I've come here to cleanse the pool. I've come here to cleanse the barbecue, and it's what? I've never seen that movie before. But tell us about that, Scotty.
Well, I'll tell you one. I've got one story.
Hang on, which means there must have been more. We got all day.
De-identify.
Do you want us to stifle your voice or put some,
It's okay.
Whatever we do with voice
there's
codes.
no secrets here.
You've been talking about it for years by the sounds of it.
Well, with my current wife, my friends in Torquay did say every husband in Torquay hates him, so don't get with him. But no, I did have one incident down in Lawn one time. Yeah, through the real estate agent, I knocked on the door, and this woman was there on her own. She was down there for a business seminar.
Suitably attired, or
she was quite nice. Yeah. And I said, I'm here to clean the barbecue. She had no idea because she was just staying there for the weekend, and then did my stuff out in the balcony, and then came back in, and she was just sitting down having her lunch, and she offered me a drink, and I sat down, and one thing led to another, and and that was it.
I thought that story was about the proposition, but it actually sealed the deal. Oh, Scotty.
Yeah, I know.
How
it
much
wasn't
are those
her barbecue.
franchises going for, mate? Is that in the material?
And I know she didn't own the barbecue, but did you still charge her $20?
No. It was more than 20 back then, mate. The prices had gone up since then.
Wow.
I knew I should have
Wowee.
been a barbecue cleaner.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew
well,
it.
there's opportunities out there, guys. If all of our audiences, guys and girls, do yourself a favour and check out the barbecue.
Yeah.
If you, absolutely.
That was a bit of fun.
Everyone's going to start looking at their barbecues going, do I call a cleaner? Do I do it
Don't just
myself?
call anyone.
Yeah.
Call Mr. Barbecue,
that's it.
AussieBarbecueCleaner.com.au.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, there you go.
It's been,
Well, I was just wanted to wrap up quickly with the barbecue conglomerate is where we started. So you still got it. You're still doing it. Rumor has it that you work about a day and a half a week, and I think you may have mentioned when you're doing those council jobs that you didn't quite run to roster sometimes. Is it true that when the surf was up, the barbecues became secondary? Board in the back of the van and you'd surf for 4 hours and maybe the barbecues would clean themselves or go back another day.
Never.
Did that ever happen?
Look, that's not true. That's how I keep the contracts. I always do the job, but I always have my surfboard in the car. So, I always make sure the barbies are done first, and then I'll go and have a surf. So, but now pretty much, I just do all the council barbecues now. I don't really do much domestic stuff anymore. So I've got a guy who he moved down here. He's got his own business, and I sort of just give him the work now that the domestic stuff comes in.
Did you give the residential work up because you didn't want to do it, or you got married again?
Bit of both, Blades. Bit of both.
So you were a great
It was an
surfer.
occupational hazard.
Growing up on the surf coast, fantastic surfer, and also spent a lot of time surf lifesaving, the Surf Lifesaving Club, and quite a renowned competitor in his day, Ogre, which is Scott might tell you about that, which will perhaps answer your question that you were thinking of. Victorian champion, how many times?
Yeah, I think I won about 12 state titles.
12?
Represented Victoria. Yeah.
Is that different events or different years?
No,
Not
the
all in
most I
one
won in
weekend,
one year
Ogre.
was. Yeah, I won four in 1 year. That was the most I won. So
what?
But obviously spread out over.
In what event? It was
numerous
a bit
years.
of Iron
Mainly
Man and
the board paddling.
Yep.
So So
that's when
mainly
you get
board
on your
paddling
knees and
ski paddling.
like a
Pretty
a
much.
dog digging a hole and you.
That's it. Head down, bum up, and off you go. Yeah. So that was my main thing, and that's what I represented Victoria in, and that was my main sport. Like discipline in that, and then the ski as well, where you sit on and you paddle.
Well, the skis,
like a kayak.
the ski would be a little bit more glamorous than the knee humping thing, wouldn't it? Like that's where the
Probably.
that's where the all the money is, the big money is. So in your era, were you competing? I remember a fellow called Brett Tyack who went big.
Yeah.
He went into.
Yep.
So Ogre, they used to. Did you ever grow up watching Grant Kenny and
Uncle
Toby
Toby's
series and
Iron Man,
Queensland series? Yeah.
Cool,
So
and go to gold. Put it on the map.
Scott was competing with those blokes, and perhaps their household names, but you, other than Mr. Barbecue, perhaps are not. Did they have your measure, Mr. Barbecue Man?
Well, look, I only really competed against like Brett Tyack, but he was next level in the Iron Man. But in the board, I used to. Yeah, we were pretty even on the board. I beat him a couple of times, and then so we were pretty close on that. But he was just an amazing surf swimmer. So that's most of those Ironmen are really good swimmers, and unfortunately, I wasn't a fast enough swimmer. I was good on the craft, but not on the not in the swimming part. And that's
what about surf?
Good on the craft. I love it.
What about surf boats? Did you ever paddle a surf boat like those blokes there? They're usually much bigger. Rower surf boat as well. Yeah, that was maybe my problem. I tried to paddle them. A rower surf boat, you got four blokes in there and the bloke up the back with a sweep or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know all about that because we used to pretend when we were 6 years old to be boaties down at Torquay Caravan Park.
We did.
So I always wanted to be a boatie, and the way they pick them apparently is they stand you up against a wall and they throw bricks, and the people that don't duck, they throw in the surf boat. So I ducked, and that's why I didn't get put in the boats.
And what does that mean? They're a bit stupid, or they're just tough?
Yeah, they're a bit stupid.
Would you, maybe you could have been a boaty ogre asking that question. We leave you in there.
Go, yeah, let me in the boat, man.
But we said we grew up down there at Torquay, Scotty and I. And we used to pretend we were Johnny Russell at the sweep. Remember him? He was a famous, sweep with the boats down at Torquay.
Sweep.
And we used to get two
Exactly.
Hammond boards or foam boards at the time lined up against each other.
Did.
The four of us used to sit on them. We'd get Mum's brooms out, and we'd be rowing the boat, and then someone would be up there with another out the back. So we were pretending that we're on the waves and falling out, and we had the speedos up our bum.
With the little bit of
the wedgie,
little bit of the grass hill next to your caravan. That was the wave.
That was
remember?
the one.
You weren't missing out on the wedgie, were you, later?
Geez, we were easily amused back then, weren't we?
And I did paddle them for real once or twice. And when you just started rowing boats, surf boats, you actually went and trained in the river. So Yarra River or wherever it was, so no waves, no nothing, and you get in there. And you paddle. Now, if you are paddling one way and you dip your oar in the wrong way, it's called the crab. Now, this is another form of crab. But if you do that, stick the oar in the wrong way and the boat's going forward, the oar that you've got comes back and absolutely smashes your chest and throws you out of the seat. So it's an inertia thing. It's painful. I lasted 1.5 sessions. I got through the first one. 3 crabs later, it was just jumped out the boat and never went back. So those blokes who paddle surf
did that.
boats.
I had a row once too in the ocean, and coming in on a wave. It was only a little wave. Same thing. Like you just had your oar trailing, and it just caught the water, and then before I knew, it was on the bottom, like you'd been thrown out of your seat, whacked you in the chest, and I thought, you can have this. Yeah, not interested.
No good.
And plus you ducked on the brick.
Exactly.
But you competed a lot, obviously, at a high level. How now? We're talking about a pretty, let's say, inviting work environment or athletic competing environment. So here you blokes are running around your budgie smugglers and parading around, and you with about 4 medals hanging around your neck. Now, how did you how do you stay focused when all around you these fantastic competitors wearing not very much and fit as an absolute fiddle? How did you concentrate and stay so focused on your competing, Scott? That must have been a challenge.
It was, yeah. Well, that's why I only won 12 titles, not 24, because I couldn't concentrate.
So you were perhaps like the frisky colt on race day, running around thinking about everything else that you shouldn't. So was there ever a call?
Day one specialist.
Exactly.
Where's Scotty? I haven't seen him since yesterday. Day 2. Right. Scotty back yet? I haven't seen him since day 1.
Yeah. One of my, I'll tell you a quick story. One of my mates, he got in the state team and they toured America, and they were there for 2 weeks.
No names.
And no names, and he didn't spend one night with the team. he just turned up down the beach.
He might have been training.
Competition.
He might have been training.
Might have been. Yeah, he was training at something. Yeah.
So 12 Vic titles, Scotty. Does that put you into nationals?
Would have been 24 if he didn't let his mind wander.
Would have been. And your best result at nationals?
7th. Yeah.
Okay. Does that mean Vic? Does that mean Vic weren't that good on the national basis, or
like Queensland and New South Wales is like they're the power states because of the
it's 24. It's 24. I was going to say 24/7, but it's all year round generally due to the weather.
Yeah, and a lot of the guys like Brett Tyke is one of my best mates. He moved up to like New South Wales and lived on the Gold Coast, and did it professionally actually for a number of years. But Victoria's it's pretty good now. Like, it's probably the 3rd best state. Like but Queensland and New South Wales is where it's at.
Dominant.
Sort of, it's like AFL footy up there.
I never got to those lofty heights, obviously. No. I bailed out at nippers and under 9s, but with no medals. But I think it's fair to say, even I know, if you're going to train in the surf and at the beach, it's a hell of a lot better up in the Sunshine Coast and Gold Coast, where the water, 23 degrees, nice sunshine.
I know,
So, but I think
it's much better.
One good thing, you've now got children.
I have.
You've now got children, so lucky they didn't geld you. If they hadn't gelded you as a young athlete, you might have won 24 titles, but perhaps you wouldn't have lovely children.
Exactly.
So, what a life.
And
What
the kids are at Nippers, Scotty, and they're down at, is it Cozy Corner down at Torquay?
Yeah, no, my kids are all grown up. They're in their 20s now.
Okay.
But not many. No, actually, only Jack, the oldest one, he did Nippers for about a year, and he didn't really like it. So I don't really push them. I just let them do what they want to do. So Jack's really the only one who's sort of into the ocean. Tom, he's into like motorbikes, and he's a boozy chippy.
Cleaning barbecues.
But they've all actually, the boys, they've worked for me like part-time jobs, when they finished school and had their license, they'd do some of the like council barbies for me. So they had a part-time job. I had my old man work for me. He's the only person I've actually ever sacked, my old man. I sacked my old man, so and he wears that as a badge of honour. Yeah.
Gee, why did he get the sack? Was he not concentrating?
No, we had a big contract up in Melbourne, cleaning like a lot of the parks, like Brimbank Park, and that. We were in charge of that, and there was a lot of let's say undesirable people hanging around toilet blocks, and you know what my dad's like, mate.
Not your dad.
So he was getting rid of them, and he was sort of quite threatening in his way. So I had to sort of let him go.
He didn't quite pass the HR test.
Yes. Yeah.
Thanks very much, Al. It's been nice knowing you around here. But
that's right.
Yeah, we've had a couple of complaints. And,
so the barbecues became more important than the public safety.
Yeah,
Is that right? I mean,
Yeah. So no. So it's just as I said, I just do the council stuff now, pretty much. Done all the franchising and stuff, and I just found it too hard to find really good people.
Did the business explode? Because I remember you're on the news one day. You're on the news or something about interviewing about something down at Torquay, and then you pop on the national Channel 7 News, I think it was. How did that go for your barbecue cleaning career?
Yeah, it did. That was with Josh Frydenberg, actually. I think they interviewed me on the Today Show or something about it was mainly about small business.
Must have been a big moment. You can't even remember it.
And they said, this will be good for your business, and it didn't really take off. Did it?
We had a beach incident with Josh Frydenberg, who was the treasurer at the time.
Yeah.
Bit of beach cricket action down at Lawn,
yeah.
And he was playing with his child in his budgies. I think he fancied himself with a bit of craft on the water as well. Yeah. Right behind our cricket game, and I bowled the ball of summer, gripped, spun, bowled my son, who tried to hoik it to Anglesey, and he's lost grip of the bat. Well, it has left his hands as he's going through the cow's corner motion, let go of it, and it has copped Josh Frydenberg in the scone.
No way.
Yes, he's bent over. He is bent over, and we're going, we didn't know it was him, by the way. We didn't know it was him. So, my son looks at me and I said, well, go and say something to him. He goes, what do I say? I go, well, start with sorry.
What do you say?
I said, start with sorry.
I would have thought you'd start with,
so anyway,
you start with, can I have my bat back?
Josh reacts, and he has cracked it.
Really?
He has cracked it big time. He's walking towards my son. He was 18 at the time. He's grabbed his arm and he goes, if that was a wooden bat, that could have killed me. And I got my son here. And it's like, well, we'll hear first, mate. And as we all walk it in, whoa, settle down, mate. Ball of summer, mate. Too much sunscreen. And he cracked it big time. Anyway, he left and we go, what a toss bag.
Yeah, right.
And he gone up to his security who are asleep underneath the trees. And he's going, do you know what happened there? Oh, you weren't even watching. And then we were told it was him and going, oh, well, couldn't have happened to a better bloke. So anyway, good old Joshy.
But you bowl, most importantly, you bowled your son.
Little stuff, a little fader.
Tell your story walking.
A little fader. Yeah. The sand might have been softened up a little bit and just turned into middle stump, mate. But he was hitting me long and far if he connected. He only connected with old Joshy boy.
You got the bat back, though. That's
We
most
did,
important.
yeah. He wasn't happy. But yeah.
There you go.
Did you continue playing?
We did,
My
yeah.
word.
He left, but yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, he kept playing with his son behind us and going, okay, you're going to learn from that mistake, mate? Anyway.
Well, the moral of the story, if you're just minding your own business in the middle of a beach somewhere, you should be wearing a
Well, you
helmet.
should. It's like people walking along the beach and they just randomly walk through your game of cricket. Like, you might be enjoying the sun and the stroll, but you can see 20 people playing cricket right here, and you're walking right through the pitch.
We won't even go
Clueless.
We won't even mention our cricket matches growing up, Paul, will we? At the Torquay Caravan Park, they always ended up in fights.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We'd go and play cricket up the old up the caravan park over there, and I mean, I could understand the other blokes getting a bit angry. I mean, I was making hundreds after hundreds after hundreds, and you know, it was just ridiculous. I was the Matthew Hayden of Torquay Oval at cricket. But that's another thing about people and beaches. Why you could be on a beach, right, and you're just minding your own business. You got your towel down, you know.
Yeah.
The bride might be there, maybe not, whatever, and the beach. There's space everywhere, and then some lunatic comes and sits
random.
within 2 feet of you. What is all that about, Oga? I'm random. There's beach space everywhere. Little pet hate of mine. But anyway, I
It's like the
digress
urinal.
for a moment.
There's no one in the urinal. You're in there minding your own business, and someone comes in and stands next to you. What's wrong with the other 20 feet of urinal, mate?
And then you have to pretend and do all sorts of things. And
One thing about the life-saving deli is where are the 12 titles now, mate? Are they pride and place of of your house, or are
They're
they in a box somewhere or lost to
they're in a box in
life.
the garage somewhere. Yeah, I know. Actually, there's one.
they're
In there's
it's
one in
probably
a book that my son made that he made and he had to do show and tell at school. So there's one medal in that, but yeah, the rest I don't know. They're in the garage somewhere in a box. Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you where they are. They're at the front door for anyone who comes and knocks on the front door, and he tells them for about an hour and a half about each single one of them. But if again,
The sea was angry that day, my friend.
Scott is actually been lucky to have lived such a full life. If I've been quite serious for just a minute, you did have a very nasty accident when you were a fair bit younger, and you've survived it, and we're all grateful for that. But it was quite serious at the time. I remember. Is that correct, Scotty?
It was Lades, yes. I was playing a friendly backyard game of basketball. Yeah, with my sister's boyfriend at the time, who was a Bodie, so he wasn't too bright. So yeah, and I decided to dunk the ball. Had the ring above the garage door, and I was that fit and that strong at that time that I pulled the whole wall down on myself. So I had all the bricks over me, and I nearly died actually. Yeah.
How old were you then, Scotty?
I was 19. Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds familiar, that story.
Yeah, that's happened since it's happened to me. You hear, I've heard of maybe 6 other times that it's happened, and yeah, they've all died actually. Yeah.
Okay, so you're lucky there.
Yeah.
Importantly, did you dunk it or not?
Well, I think I did, but no one ever has confirmed that I did or not. So I don't know, but I'll say I did. Yeah.
I think the real problem was that girlfriend's boyfriend at the time, as we said, was a Bodie. I reckon he'd rammed his head into that wall a few times before just for practice for Bodies.
Loosened him
And the
up.
other problem was, I reckon the ring was not quite at full height. I reckon, and
was.
we're trying to slam
back
Duncan
then,
and
Lades.
get caught up. Yeah, but old mate literally saved his life.
Butch, he did.
Sister's boyfriend rapped. Yeah, he did,
Yep.
and we've caught up many times since and relived that moment. And
Wrapped you in what? Just run us through that. The bricks fell down. How many bricks are we talking? The whole wall? So
The
you're
whole
buried
wall fell
in bricks?
down, and on top of me, because where the ring was, there was about probably 20 or 30 bricks sort of still connected to the ring, and that fell on me. And then Butch he came in and just lifted it off, and he saved my life. And then the next day he couldn't even lift it. Like, it was still obviously on the driveway, and the adrenaline kicked in, and he pulled the bricks off me and saved my life. So
And your injuries were what?
so I had multiple fractures. I've broke my back, my arm, leg, ankle, I had I don't know if you've heard of compartment syndrome, where the pressure in the muscle of your lower leg just expands, and they have to cut the muscle to release the pressure, and that's what that's what nearly killed me. So I had lots of sort of issues with lower right leg, lost muscle in that, and so that sort of ended my board paddling life-saving career as it was. So
So your 12 titles were before you were 19?
Yeah. Well, after my accident, I sort of took me a few years to get back into it, and then I could only do the ski paddling. So I won, three with that, and then the 9 were before. So they were from 15 to 18. Yeah.
And how long was the recovery from the accident? Accident?
Looking back, it's probably 3 years, because I had to go in and out of hospital, getting pins and stuff out, and my right foot's fused, so they had to do had quite a few operations on my right leg as well. So it's probably all up maybe 3 years. Huh?
So how long were you in hospital for the first time, from the actual impact of the injury or the accident to the hospital and out then?
3 months. Yeah,
3 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So it happened in end of November, and so I was really fit then, and the doctor said that's probably because it was just coming into our season, and they said that's probably what helped save my life, that I was really fit at the time.
How old were you? 19 at this time.
19,
19. So, lightening up a little bit, would it be? You're 19. You're a good-looking fella. You got a cheeky smile. You're lying there, helpless, just about. And and you would have been a little cheeky, perhaps, with the nurses.
Well, you get to know them in 3 months,
You
wouldn't
do,
you?
You form a sort of close relationship with a few of them, because you
just for
you're seeing
medicinal
them every
purposes,
day.
of course.
Exactly.
Was there any
Emotional
nurses? Was there any nurses that were perhaps extending their night shift, or slipping a phone number, or perhaps looking under the sheets when you're pretending to be asleep, or anything like that? Was there anything like that? I mean, we've got to take the upside of all this.
I did spend New Year's Eve in there, so there might have been a bit of New Year's Eve celebration going on in the ward.
Well, you've got to take the upside.
Scotty's lived a life.
Well, you do. Yeah, you got to make good out of a bad situation, don't you? So whatever gets you through.
Yeah. And did you clean anyone's barbecues in the nurses, perhaps, at all? So again, I think what we want to do, how we can perhaps improve. Well, improve is probably not the right word, but I'm going to go out and find a bit of a wall after this and see if I can slam dunk. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to go start cleaning barbecues. And then after that, I might start paddling surf skis and doing that knee hubbing thing on a board and win 12 titles. So if only we could. You have lived a life, Scotty Dell, Mr. Barbecue Man, AussieBarbecue.com.au.
We never know where these conversations are going to go. So I wasn't aware of that accident. So it's thanks for sharing, Scotty. I'm not sure how that goes after so long, but
he's still playing the sympathy card.
I'm talking, you might say I'm talking to a simple barbecue cleaner from Torquay, and he's won 12 Victorian state titles in the water, and had a life-threatening accident that he's recovered from.
Yeah, and the unofficial mayor of Torquay. I actually, and I've told, I was at Torquay only 3 or 4 months ago, minding my own business, going to have dinner, and with the bride, we're sitting there minding our own business, and I sit. This bloke just walks in, sits next to us. So we're on a little bench, and there's quite a full restaurant, and but there's one seat. He comes and sits next to me. G'day, mate. How you going? Said you got a house to sell. He wanted to leave pretty quick, but after we got over that awkwardness, he said, "I said, what are you doing, mate? How's your day? And he said, "Oh, I've just been for a surf and all this sort of stuff, and And he said, oh, yeah, my mate surfs down here, whatever, yeah. And he says, oh, yeah, who's he? Oh, Scott Dell. He goes, Scott Dell? He goes, the mayor of Torquay, the barbecue guy.
Turn it up.
And I tell you, that's exactly what he said. And this bloke I didn't know from Adam, still can't remember his name, but, mate, just one bloke. And then, believe it or not, we've left that same day, hadn't seen Scott down there or met up with Scott when we were down there. Yeah. We walked from dinner across the road, go to get an ice cream at the ice cream shop. Yeah. And who nearly runs me off the road on his new electric bike?
The mayor himself.
The barbecue man. The mayor himself. Hooning around Torquay, thinking he's running the world.
I know. I was looking at the blonde and I didn't realise it was Sharon. Hey, I was checking her out. The bride.
Oh, gee. She's still got it, the bride. She's still got it, the bride.
God, he's batting above his average, this bloke.
Would not be the first to say that. On
that note, Scotty, this has been a real pleasure for me.
Boys.
And thanks for sharing. I've got so many insights into how to clean a barbie. I always look at it and go, it's a job for someone else. But yeah,
for $20, you could just be the man.
The wire brush might cost me 20. But anyway, we'll get that going. So I really appreciate your time and sharing your story with us today, and feel a little less clueless about cleaning barbecues and the energy that goes into surf lifesaving as well.
Well, good on you, boys. Thanks for your time. I enjoyed it. It was great.
Good on you, Scotty. See you, mate.
Good on you, fellas. See you later.
Well, Big Pauly, another amazing guest there in Scotty Dell, the barbecue man, the mayor of Torquay, Victorian state titles, 12 of in the surf, and then an accident that nearly killed him. That was an amazing chat.
Yes, he is a remarkable young man. I've known Scott for a long time, and we spoke for probably best part of an hour or so. And quite frankly, we could have spoken to Scott for about 4 days for the stories we probably can't tell on radio. Always good story. And for those wondering, he's just about semi-retired now. So that the $20 idea to take the grill to his ex-father-in-law's, drop him in who knows what still, and drop him back. You didn't need an apprenticeship, you just needed a driver's license. And who would have thought 20-something years later he's been on national television as well, and semi-retired, making a fortune, cleaning barbecues. And now we can do it all for free.
Yeah, he's given us some advice on how to do it. Still a bit of elbow grease, though. Get the wire brush. Might cost a little bit of money, but a little spray of oil at the end of it, Big Pauly. I wasn't thinking that. Normally I'm cleaning the oil off.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a new one. I'm gonna go and try that one. And I didn't get around to ask him about the drip and the oil that gets on the tiles and that. So that will be something I'll have to ask him perhaps off air. But I do need to follow up also my idea, Ogre, which I think it might just start with a $20 visit to somewhere where to clean the air fryers. I'm going to investigate that, and maybe that could be my new career, cleaning an air fryer. There's got to be a better way than what I'm doing.
Well, it's got to be cheap because you can get a $40 air fryer.
Yeah. I'm clueless about air fryers, but I'm not clueless anymore about cleaning the barbecue. So when I clean tomorrow in my shorts and T-shirt at 20-something degrees here in the Sunshine Coast, I'll be thinking of you both.
Thanks, Big Pauly, and thanks to Scotty Dell, who is our guest tonight. And we look forward to coming back and doing this again. And who will be our next guest? Time will tell. Continue to listen to Clueless wherever you find your podcasts. And don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram and you'll get all our latest posts and upcoming guests and the like. It is at Clueless, Ogre and Big Pauly. We also have an email, ogreandbigpauly@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you and tell us what you think or who you'd like us to investigate and interview in future episodes.
And if we don't get back to you in 5 days from the email, please send it again. Thank you, and we'll see you all soon.
And good night. You've been listening to another episode of Clueless with Ogre and Big Pauly. Follow, like, subscribe, even leave a review. Do it all. We'd love to hear from you.